Hello everyone, here is Dete talking about the movie for you. It was the first time the little girl Heidi had met her grandpa. Heidi came forward to say hello obediently. But this is how grandpa responded. Aunt quickly pulled Heidi back. And then a brief explanation. Just leave her here. She ran away in a panic. Grandpa noticed. He turned and closed the door. Let Heidi scream outside the door. He doesn't even open. Her parents were dead and Aunt didn't want her. Grandpa is another weird old man. Heidi had to go to the unlocked sheepfold next door, through a night of lightning and thunder. The next day Grandpa went into the sheepfold to milk the goats. Heidi said hello to her grandpa. But Grandpa still ignored her. But after milking the goats, Grandfather turned and handed Heidi a ladle. Heidi is very happy. She gulped the goat's milk, but Grandpa said the next word. Heidi thought Grandpa would take her in. She lowered her head in frustration. The priest examined Heidi briefly. But the priest won't be in town for 3 days. See if can find a good home. If not, she will have to be sent to an orphanage. She has to follow Grandpa for 3 days. Grandpa said reluctantly. He will bring her back in 3 days. On the way back, Grandpa walked in front. Heidi ran after him. After arrived home, Heidi asked timidly.
Soll ich heute Nacht wieder im Stall schlafen?
Grandfather told Heidi.
Schlafen weg.
After hearing this, she ran into the house excitedly. But the first floor is too shabby. There is only one table and one chair, and Grandpa's bed. So she ran to the second floor. The place was heaped with loose hay. Heidi is very easy to satisfy. He immediately rolled in the haystack. Heidi has no one else to rely on. She wants to stay and live with her grandpa. She don't want to go to the orphanage. Grandpa was silent. But in fact, the heart has begun to shake. Early in the morning, she ran out excitedly, drinking fresh goat milk, washing face with clear stream water, then pack up to herd the sheep with Pete. Heidi is like an elf, on the slopes of the Alps, running free, looking at the endless mountains. Heidi is fascinated. Pete also took her to play tricks on the groundhog. They began to play in the grass. Naughty spread jam all over face, but happiness is always short. Heidi told Peter frustrated today. She can't play with him anymore, because the 3-day appointment has arrived. Grandpa will send her away. But when Heidi got home, a surprising discovery. There is an extra chair in the room. Then she understood. Grandpa is not going to send her away. She hugged her grandpa. With the coming of winter, Peter stopped herding sheep up the hill. Heidi has no friends, depressed all day long. Grandpa had a hard time seeing her like that. He took Heidi to the carriage. Follow the mountain road to Pete's house. At Peter's house, Heidi found out. Pete's grandmother is blind. Even the teeth have fallen out. And the bread in the mountains is very hard. Grandma can't bite it all. This made her fall into contemplation. Suddenly she found out. Compared to Pete grandma, she is happy with grandpa. So the days went by. Heidi and her grandfather were getting on well with each other. But suddenly Aunt visit again. She wants to take Heidi away. It's basically selling Heidi to a rich family. Grandpa is very angry after hearing this. Almost use force. She is so cunning. On Heidi's way home, she was tricked into taking her away. When Grandpa found out something was wrong, my aunt ran away a long time ago. Grandpa hurried down the mountain to catch up. While at this moment, Aunt took Heidi, already in the carriage, until he gets to town. There was no one there. He seems to have aged a lot. The white hair on his head was particularly dazzling. The little girl is pitiful. She didn't even know he was sold by her own aunt, and foolishly watched her count the money. Fortunately, Heidi met a good family. Miss Clara likes her very much. They soon became friends. Because of the sudden death of her mother, Clara was unable to walk, and Heidi's task is simple. Just to make Clara happy, but she screwed up on her first day at work. Clara is very kind. To keep Heidi from being scolded, taking the blame for her. Seeing the lady deliberately protect Heidi, the housekeeper gave up. There are rules for eating and speaking. The housekeeper doesn't like her, decided to wait for the master to return. Send her away immediately. Heidi asked the servant to open the window for her. Want to see the mountain where Grandpa lives, but she was soon disappointed. It was surrounded by tall lofts. She can't see the mountain at all, the servant told Heidi. If she wants to see the mountains, need go up to the church over there. So the next day, she slid the door open. She slipped out with Clara, 2 chained girls. Nature is finally liberated. Soon they came to the church. Heidi longed to climb up and see, but worry about Clara lonely below. In an embarrassing position,
Mach dir keine Gedanken. Los, beeil dich.
Heidi excitedly climbed to the top of the tower. No matter how she searched, she cannot find her dreamed mountain. The servants on the other side were anxiously looking for them. Not only did bring them back in the end, but also a few cute little cats. Because the housekeeper is allergic to cats, the appearance of cats, she made a fool of herself in front of everyone. She was angry and didn't dare to blame Miss. Only Heidi was responsible for everything. Punish her for not eating today, and reflect on mistakes. The next day Heidi changed back her clothes. Turn around and go back to see Grandpa. But she was stopped by the housekeeper, threatened her not to leave. And look at the sad Clara. Heidi could only refrain from thinking of
Was
going
machst du
home.
denn?
Heidi could only refrain from thinking of going home. But sometimes the more depressed, the more likely it is to go wrong. Heidi even started sleepwalking. It's going to happen every night. Come to the gate. Looking at Grandpa's direction, the incident was discovered by the doctor. The doctor asked Heidi if she was homesick. Heidi didn't answer, just buried her head in the pillow and started crying. The doctor told the host, Heidi is suffering from serious homesickness. If you don't send it back in time, the problem will get worse. But Heidi had to go. It's not easy for Clara, who has a friend. It's a very unacceptable thing. The shining white daughter of a rich family. First time in the mountains. She is not used to eating without cutlery. So Heidi taught her step by step. These special operations, very funny. Heidi went home and brought Clara back.
So hab ich sie mir vorgestellt.
When Heidi was excited to introduce Clara to him, Pete wanted to play with Heidi. I won't leave Clara, Heidi told Peter directly. Peter took the sheep straight away. Heidi laughed around Clara all day. He was left alone to herd sheep on the mountain. In the evening, 2 little girls made a wish to the meteor. The next day, when Pete passed Heidi's house, hear the sound of their playful fighting. Pete was jealous again. He looked at Clara's wheelchair and pushed it off the cliff. When the wheelchair broke, Peter suddenly realized his mistake. He ran away. Clara can't go anywhere without a wheelchair. Grandfather had to carry Clara up the hill. When Grandpa saw it, he knew it was Pete. He is going to teach this brat a lesson. Clara stays alone on the rock. Look into the distance. She was intoxicated by the beautiful scenery around her. Sweep away the gloom before. Show a sweet smile. At this time a butterfly gently lie on Clara's toes. She instinctively bent down to touch. The butterfly waved its wings and flew away. Clara wants to keep it. Move forward consciously. At this time, a miracle happened. She actually stood up. See this scene. Heidi ran over excitedly, hiding behind before, and Pete hurried forward, holding Clara with Heidi. When she's all right, just try to make her walk around. Her legs really healed. Clara's father, who cares about his daughter, came here too. By this time, Clara was able to walk without help. Dad hugged her with tears in his eyes. Besides, the scenery of the Alps, it really adds a lot of points to this movie. It's very suitable for a person, especially on rainy days, hiding under the covers and watching it. I hope you will enjoy the movie. Please follow me if you like my video. I am Lady. Thank you for watching.
Wenn dir etwas Freude macht im Leben, dann musst du es einfach tun. Egal, was die Leute reden.